Welcome, everybody, to Talking Bitch. This is a podcast where the rage is real, the opinions are loud, and absolutely nobody is safe from that group chat energy. We're talking games, culture, whatever chaos happens online. My name is Austin, one half of your co-host for the show, and allow me to introduce to you, last but not least, the second and first in command, Drake Wan.
I can't believe we're still doing this shit. Let's go.
Not me either, to be honest. Today we're just going to be talking about the Steam Machine, GTA, and whatever else comes to our mind at this point. Drake?
Yeah?
While you crunch away at those
Nom.
kettle chips, what do you think about the Steam Machine pricing?
I think it's very unfortunate. Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure they tried their best. But with everything that has been going on, thanks, Ultimate for being a fucking absolute retard for ruining the RAM pricing and also the SSD pricing with all this, AI fucking shit. Honestly, if what IGN, fucking big ibs, reported is true, that $750 was their original pricing they wanted to do, I think it would have been an really damn good deal. But
it would have been an amazing deal.
Oh yeah, but at $1,400 for 2 TB model, no, and now we're seeing that what kind of performance it's doing. I get it. It's not really for hardcore PC gamers. It's for like a introduction or like a console alternative to people. But still, $1,400 is a lot for asking a lot for regular people to get into PC gaming.
I mean, when you're looking at like this next generation of consoles coming out, reportedly going to be close to $1,000. That 512, like the base model Steam Machine, yeah, that kind of matches up with what everybody else is asking for, but you're also like, you're not getting a lot out of it.
No,
really,
also
like, for like a console would just be worth it at that price.
Also, okay, since we're talking about console pricing, they spiked the console prices again, right? So you look at PlayStation Pro, which is $900 now, Xbox Series X, they're all around $700 to $900 price range now. They're all insane. Like, none of these machines are worth the price they're asking for. Let's be honest.
So, like, before you got on, I was looking through PC Part Picker because I wanted to see what I could find on there. For one, I found somebody that built a computer 2 years ago, and this has updated pricing now. Everything is up to today's standards still from 2 years ago. It's $1,100. And it comes with a 3070, which like is actually roughly the same as what the Steam Machine's offering right now when it comes to GPU. When I go to this other one that I was looking at, this is $1,000.32.
Yeah, because Steam Machine, people finding out it's the performance is somewhere between 3060 and 3070 at 40 to 60 frames per second.
Yeah, I'm looking at $1,000 for this one. This has the same exact thing. This one's a 3080 in it. So an even better PC. I actually went ahead and I built my own PC to match the standards of what the 2 terabyte bundle, the $1,400 version of the Steam Machine is. I came up to 1364.
You can still feel.
This is with a 5060. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM in it. Ryzen 5 processor. I even have a custom CPU cooler because like even processors come with coolers still, but I still got an upgraded cooler on it because I still had money. I even was able to put Windows 11 Home Edition on there. I know that sounds dumb, but at the same time, I was able to include an extra $120 cost.
Yeah, for OS, yeah.
Yeah, like
no, I mean, since you mentioned it, building your own custom PC at the price of what the Steam machine is, asking for. I do also want to point out one thing that Steam machine uses a lot of proprietary, hardwares, and a lot of people, the Viking argue, oh, but the Steam machine is portable, it's tiny, so how can you actually compare that to a custom built PC, which is gigantic? Well, you don't. That's the thing. It's not one to one, comparison.
So the PC that I built is a micro ATX, which is just slightly bigger than what the Steam machine is going to be.
But your PC that you're building you will be able to upgrade it in the future.
Exactly, especially with depending on how you choose everything, and like prices can only go, like yes, prices are going to continue to skyrocket. Prices can only go down. Close to me, and actually, you can still use these online. Is a place called Micro Center, and they're constantly having deals where you can get a CPU, your motherboard, and RAM for less than $500. And it's like a good 16, potentially 32 gigs of RAM, depending on what type of CPU you get.
Holy shit, that's amazing. For $500? Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. They go up in price from there, but like you can still find insane deals. I think the best one I saw was 64 gigs of RAM and it was $800.
Oh shit.
Like literally, like it was very top of the line everything in there. I think it came with a Ryzen 7. But it was still like you can get
I,
deals. You can
and
find
you
deals and you can find stuff. Like Micro Center is the one I bring up because like their hope is that you purchase that deal, they eat a little bit of the cost, but then you turn around, you buy a graphics card from them.
right.
I mean,
You buy
you don't
something
have to,
else and then you pay them to build it for you there.
yeah, which you don't even have to do that. If you go online, you just buy it from them, have it shipped to your house and everything. You can go find and go piece it together and just build it for cheaper than what the Steam machine would be and get a better quality thing. Like the biggest cost, the best cost like comparison for what the Steam machine offers to what you can go online and buy yourself is the SSD. Because that's
Right.
going to be, it's the
The-
RAM and the SSD are the two most expensive components right now.
those two are the reason why the price fucking spiked to, 1400. There's no doubt about it.
This one I built, by the way, 1 terabyte of NVMe, $130. It's not going to be
Dude.
the best one. It's a silicone powder one, so it's like they're not amazing, but when it comes to NVMe, it's still very good.
That's still a damn good price right now because, like
Yeah,
100 gig. Yeah, like you said, 1 terabyte goes for like a $200, $300 now.
I didn't even use I use DDR4 RAM on there because like I know everybody wants the biggest and best that they can possibly get, but when you have to budget out what everything, DDR4 is still perfectly fine. And it still works just as good as DDR5 depending on like where
Yeah,
you
exactly.
actually use it.
DDR4 is still not only viable, it still is very optimal for a lot of games you're gonna be playing.
Especially since like with modern day graphics cards, like in this I said I got a 5060 put in this thing. It's got a 16 gigs of RAM in that video card alone. So I'm running 32 gigs when I'm actually playing games. So like we're looking at a very viable option compared to just purchasing the Steam machine, and it's almost $100 less than the Steam machine.
I think it's very. I mean, I understand the reason why they had to increase the price or the reason for the pricing. They put it out. I think it's just unfortunate they had to hold up for this long. If this thing came out like a year or two ago, this would have been one of the best fucking thing, Steam, a Valve put out. But looking at um, Steam Deck, even Steam Deck is now $700. Like you can't tell me that like a 5-year-old hardware is worth $700,
No,
and it's not on them.
it was barely worth the cost when it was brand new. Like
Like it
Steam
sucks.
their software is actually amazing. Their storefront is amazing. A Valve is amazing for those things, but their hardware has been just very disappointing, in my opinion.
Because they're not known for making hardwares.
No, they're not. And it's like you went out and you got the ROG Ally,
Yep.
and I would argue to say that the price that you paid for that was slightly more than the Steam machine, and it was worth the cost because it was actually a dedicated gaming like Xbox thing. Like it was made for what it actually
Right.
says it
It
was
was a
made for.
handheld PC, gaming
Yeah.
PC. Yeah.
Like the Steam machine was supposed to basically be like the competitor to the Switch, and it just wasn't that. Because it still had issues playing games that were even compatible with it.
Right. Yeah, man. It just sucks. Like as much as I wanted this to be good and have like some kind of a alternative to like console, I don't think this is it. Sadly,
This
I
isn't
think
it. Like
yeah, which is the reason why I think Valve are releasing Steam OS for free for anybody to download it.
I think they're also doing that because they want people to get used to Steam OS, and they would like to push people into their hardware that optimally runs Steam OS. Um, it's still not a very good OS system in general.
I mean, it's very limited because it only has one function: run
Yeah,
Steam. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it sucks. Like, it's not just Steam. It's not just like Steam machine. It's not just my like Xbox. It's not just PlayStation, because Switch, also had a spike in price as well. Not as much as the other systems, but it still went up. It's going up by $50.
it's still going up. I think what like worries me about, it, especially with the Steam machine coming out, is it's being reported the PS6 is coming out next year, which means the next Xbox potentially is coming out very soon after that.
If
What like
if they still have Xbox division by that time.
if they do? But then again, like this is the same thing of like we've heard Sony is going to go bankrupt at some point. It's been like 10 years, 20 years since those rumors have started. Sony's still here. They're not going anywhere. I don't think Xbox is going to be getting away with their gaming division anytime soon. I think now that they're actually focusing on it again properly
Well,
and bringing back exclusives, like
no, no,
I
no, hold
think
on, hold on.
they are.
There is a difference between Microsoft's game division and Xbox division.
No, I know that. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you that I still put it at like Sony has a difference between PlayStation and Sony. And we just
Yeah.
constantly
So
hear like if Sony goes under, PlayStation goes under. So like if Microsoft gaming division goes down, Xbox probably going down too.
here's the
That's why
difference,
I'm
though.
saying like I don't
Xbox
think
the Microsoft game division is not going out. They're doing pretty number wise. They're doing pretty damn well with their like a Game Pass and all that shit. It's just the Xbox team is in jeopardy.
I don't see as long as Sony has a console, I don't see Xbox going away.
I don't know. I'm getting more and more skeptical about Xbox existing next generation.
I could see it lasting. If it does go away, it'll be after this next generation.
Because we haven't even heard anything about next gen, Xbox. Only thing we've been keep hearing about is their Game Pass and what they're gonna do with the exclusive titles.
I
Not
think they're
actually
doing
anything.
I think they're doing that on purpose though, just kind of pushing you away from hardware. They want you to know that like, hey, we have exclusives again. We have Game Pass. And I think in a year we'll probably hear like, by the way, new console. Like the more that they push all this other stuff, the more that it distracts you from the fact that like maybe they are building the console already. Which
But you
maybe
do want to
like
build the
maybe
hype
you
for the next gen console, though.
you do, but you also don't need it immediately. Like I also really hope that we're not in the generation where like you have to it's like the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. They came out roughly around within the same year. You don't need to do that. Let let these guys learn, in my opinion, learn from Nintendo. Nintendo literally just goes on their own fucking timeline, as you know. They
Well,
do
yeah.
things on their own timeline. Hopefully Xbox does that.
Well,
They don't
okay.
try to they don't try to stick and do like PS6 comes out next year, then all of a sudden we get a rushed Xbox that gets a lot of backlash like the last two generations did. Like hopefully they've actually learned from their mistake and they're like, "Well, wait. Let's do this right to this
So
time."
there's a difference, though, between s- uh, Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft. So Sony and Microsoft, their systems lately has been pseudo PC. They've been kind of like advertising their systems as like, hey, look at this high power machine that can play like a really strong softwares, AAA softwares that like optimal whatever specs. Nintendo always has been about say, hey, we have all these exclusive titles that we don't ever put it on any other system. And that's why
Well,
Nintendo can do whatever the fuck they want at their pace, whether you like it or not. But lately, Sony and Microsoft, as you've seen it, they've been trying to push it, their machines to be. Look at this pseudo PC that we're just gonna keep, pumping out the quote unquote upgraded version of it because that's a spec that people keep asking for. That's the difference. So if Microsoft is kind of like a year or two behind Sony of releasing their next gen console, unless they have that they use that year or two to upgrade their hardware to be more competitive with whatever Sony put out, they will be just losing time on next gen console. You know what I mean?
I don't necessarily see that as a problem though, especially since like we are currently the PS5 is at 6 years old. That is not old enough for a console generation, in my opinion.
No, I do miss
Like
the times where console generation lasted 10 years.
we're when the PS6 comes out, it'll probably be 7 years since PlayStation 5 came out,
Right.
which is why like I'm fine with them taking more time. Same with like Nintendo, I think messed up between the Switch and Switch 2, though that was a
Mhm.
longer time period than PlayStation.
That was like 8 9 years, so also keep in mind that they have to uh it's not I'm not talking about whether Sony takes extra year or whatnot. It's just from Sony's release of PlayStation 6, if Xbox does not release their like a system within that time period when Sony's PlayStation 6 comes out, they're just losing year or two on nothing. That's what I'm saying. Because they will not have that hardware upgrade they need to make up for the like a loss of time.
We will definitely see what happens. Speaking
We'll
of
see.
seeing what happens, what do you think about GTA 6?
Oh man, I
Can I give you my honest opinion on Grand Theft Auto in general before we
go
actually get
ahead.
into it? As great as a game it is, and I did enjoy it. I've beaten the main story probably 3 times because it is just a fun story. For as good as it is equally overrated. I think the hype around this game is going to be better than the game could ever possibly perform.
Oh yeah.
And it's not, I'm going to be honest, it is not even Rockstar's fault. As the hype around this game is entirely fan speculation, and then the leaks did not help Rockstar either. But it's literally just fans are overhyping themselves for disappointment.
Thank you.
Speaking of
Thank you.
disappointment, I am disappointed with the physical copies of the game not coming with a disc and coming with a fucking download code.
That is another trend that's been going on for the last several years that I am not happy about.
No, like, I love having the disc. I still like I know people can give GameStop all the shit that they want. I still enjoy going to a GameStop, going to a Target, a Walmart, wherever I need to go to get a game and buying that physical copy and getting the disc. Like it's still a good moment for me every time I get to do that. And now if I have to open up a game box and a piece of paper falls out, I'm going to be pissed.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I totally agree because they're definitely doing this, so they're trying to make most money out of the game market and not give any money to used game markets. Because I mean, they have history of being an anti secondhand, gaming market for how long now? Since PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, when they were selling $10 online pass if you want to play your game online, you still have to pay $10 extra even if you buy a used game. That was fucking bullshit back then. It's still same bullshit now. That
I
the fact
remember
that
I remember buying Mass Effect 2
hmm
brand new and it came with that code to play online. Maybe it
yep
wasn't 2. I think it was 3. It was
three.
3.
It was
3.
three. Yep.
Um but I remember that. I remember getting pissed when I found out exactly what that code was actually for.
It's the same shit. Like nothing has changed. Like these companies, like Nintendo included, wants to, because fucking Nintendo does the same shit. Like they have these game key cards, right? Instead of giving you the actual cartridge, they just give you code. Granted, I mean, it will say it on the like case says, hey, it's a physical game or it's the key card, so you know what you're buying. But still, if you're gonna put out a game in a case, have a fucking physical copy in it.
Just like it's I get for every single game that they sell. Like at this point, don't sell the box because that is the rumors that they're going to be selling the game box with the code inside of it, which is
Yeah,
just so dumb to me. Like you're already trying to eliminate the cost of the disc. Just don't sell the box.
that's one other thing. Like
Make
that's what I'm saying.
make
If you're selling a
just
fucking box, have the game in it.
make it just a digital only game. Just go that far. If you're already trying to go, like you said, to the point of like you can't even share, you can't resell, you can't do anything with it, just make it a digital only game. It'll sell the same. Now,
Right.
personally, I wouldn't be very happy with that. I would love to have like as much as what I said about GTA 6, at the end of the day, this game is going to be historic for one reason or another. I would love to have the physical copy of that game just in case anything happens in the future, especially with games continuously being delisted and like we lose the ability to play certain things, especially digital version or digital games.
Right.
So like it would be nice to have that copy of the disc just for whatever happens. And I can't I hate the fact that gaming has gone towards digital in general. Like even when you buy discs nowadays, you have to download the game anyways.
So what's the fucking point of a disc?
To me, it's just the novelty of owning it. I do enjoy having that disc. Plus, like you said before, of like the disc allows for resale. I occasionally I'll trade in a game, especially if I know I'm never going to play it, if I'm never going to touch whatever it is. Occasionally I'll do it. Buying used games is always nice. I think you and I both know if you can find a game that you want for a cheaper cost, you're going to get it. That's why we usually wait just for Steam sales.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But like, I think GTA truly is setting. Like, I think every gaming company has wanted to do this, but I think Rockstar is setting the trend. Like, they're going to be the first ones to set this trend, to
I mean,
really go through with it and like really push it. The entire industry is going to follow Rockstar because they've somehow set themselves up as the juggernaut in the industry.
they're not though. I mean, that's the fucking thing. Okay, first of all, I also want to mention that people who are making argument, oh, it's gonna be 200 gigabytes. How are you gonna fit it in a CD? Hey, dipshit. GTA 5 came in a 2 DVDs. They had install and play disc separate. Why the fuck can you not do that for GTA 6?
Actually, I
You know
can
how many
confirm
other
this right now.
games?
I just went through my box of Xbox 360 games because I really wanted to go through and play Fable 2 again. I found my copy of GTA 5. It's 2 discs. They
Yeah,
never played, just
exactly.
like you said, it's play disc, download disc.
So why the fuck can you not do that? You can do it. There's no fucking problem, because Final Fantasy 7 also did that for their physical copy. So why the fuck can you not? It's just such a stupid fucking argument.
Yeah,
If
those
they wanted to, they
old
would have made it work.
it was those PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 JRPGs were famous for having multiple discs.
Yeah. Dude,
Like
Final Fantasy 7 was a 3 disc.
I have a copy of Lost Odyssey for 360. That's 4 discs for that game.
It's such a dumb argument.
Also, it's a dumb argument to make nowadays where every game needs to be downloaded regardless if you have the disc.
Right.
Like
So what's the point of a physical copy?
It's the novelty of owning that disc.
Exactly. As much
It's
as people
gonna
give Nintendo shit, at least their cartridge is ready to play.
not just that. Like I also feel like with Nintendo's cartridges, there isn't unlimited possibilities with those cartridges. If Nintendo's pricing went up, it was to me, it's not because of the quality of the game. It's strictly because of the storage needed on every one of those cartridges.
You're not wrong. Them still sticking to like a physical medium as much as possible. I don't understand that people hate Nintendo in West for some reason. That they are the ones that actually still keeping the physical forms of a game alive as much as they can.
At the end of the day, when Sony and Microsoft do eventually close down, Nintendo will still be there in the wasteland to be providing you Pokemon double deluxe ultra green version 2.
Right. I
I
get
say
it.
that as a
People are not happy
Pokemon
with
fan.
it.
I say that as a Pokemon fan.
I am not a Pokemon fan.
What do you think about GTA 6 changing pricing? Like we just went through a price hike not too long ago, and now we're going through another price hike in gaming.
Ah, man, it's really sensitive topic because I understand they want to make their money back on all their development. I get it, but asking people to pay what $90 to $120 for their game is a lot.
It
Like
just it blows
that's
my mind.
double
Like
what people used to pay for.
I remember a while ago somebody was talking to me about this. Of like because of inflation, because the way prices have gone up, like gaming has been $60 for so long, or it was $60 for so long. But thanks to inflation and everything, like technically, if it was following the trends, it should have been up to like $100 5-6 years ago. So now I think they're trying to catch up to that.
They're partially right and wrong about that. I think here's the thing that people forget. What were the original game prices back in NES and SNES during that time?
I don't know. I was like negative years old during that time.
It was like a between $60 to $100 for a game. So once you buy a game, that was actual investment. That's why like a game exchange, like a trading, those were huge deals because games were expensive. It's only when it became more affordable medium in like a PlayStation, like a CDs, that game prices went down because you could actually produce more for cheaper.
And not cheaper too. It's also like there was a time period, and I'd say 360 is probably the last time that this actually was real. Is the price of a $60 game
Was worth the $60 game.
I'd say seven and a half times out of 10, it was worth that $60 game.
Right.
Like that's a pretty high number considering how many games come out every single year between developers and indie devs and everything. Like paying $60 for a game that you're going to get a minimum of 10 to 15 hours of like first time content through. That's a pretty good deal. But nowadays you have games coming out. Like I know we used this example in the past, but we use it again. Resident Evil 3 coming out at, I think it was a full $70 game, and it was 4 or 5 hours of content. Like
Resident Evil 3 remake was like a $40-$50.
that's still too much for how much content was actually on that game.
Yeah, I agree. But okay, so since we're talking about price of a game and what it used to be and compared to now, that's one of the point I want to make. For all the games that are only digital, why are you charging same as a physical game? If the
That's
argument is
always
the physical game needs to be charged more because of the production was expensive, then why are you charging as much for the digital only game?
it should be discount. I think the problem is that like for them to discount it, and this is purely, I'm not trying to defend them because I know this is purely out of laziness. They actually have to input the pricing of what it would be to not have the production costs of like
I mean,
disc
that's a
and box and
terrible fucking
paper.
argument.
No, I know it's a terrible argument, but it's also what I'm assuming is the actual argument. Like it comes down to money, comes down to time. They don't want somebody to sit down for 15 minutes and figure out what's the cost of how we package this stuff. Okay,
Well, somebody would have
how do
already
we take
figured that
that out
out by
from the
the time
game?
it goes on to production. So they shouldn't actually have to do the math. They should know
That
that.
they should. I'm saying purely out of laziness and greed, they don't. Like they don't factor that in, which is why digital games are the same price as physical.
It should not be same fucking price. Like if the argument will be always be, oh yeah, it's expensive to produce a physical game. Well then, digital should be cheaper for the
It should
exact
be.
same reason.
I would say it's digital games at minimum should be $6 to $7 cheaper. And I'm trying to factor in literally all the costs, the actual like producing of the disc, the box, the fold paper. I mean, they used to have the actual workbooks inside of them, the
Yeah, whatever the
plastic
fuck happened
packaging.
to manuals with us, like a whole bunch of stories and how to play the game. And God, I missed when they used to have like a gigantic booklet for D&D games.
Like I just miss when they used to care. Um, yeah, I'm even trying to include the cost of shipping per game. But like, yeah, I'd say a minimum of like $6 to $9. Not even trying to make a joke there, just $6 to $9 cheaper on digital games. And
Let's just say,
I
let's be
guarantee
generous and say like a 10%. It should be, like maybe 10% of what they're charging is what, goes into producing physical game. Let's just say that. Why is GTA 6 80 to fucking $120?
oh, because they spent $1 billion making it.
Well, then that's their fucking problem. Don't spend billion fucking dollars on a game. Like I never understood this idea of triple A, quadruple A, like blockbuster budget for a video game, and then let the consumers eat the price. It's like why? They didn't ask you to spend that much money on a game.
What's insane to me about it is they spent that much money knowing.
They're not making
uh,
that money back on a
Oh,
sales.
I would go on to go ahead and venture and say, oh, they'll make that much money on sales at some point.
Some point.
Let me get my point on this though. GTA Online for GTA 6 is not scheduled to be out until 6 months post release. They will make their money back on GTA Online because that's where in my opinion, I haven't been able to do a lot of research on this yet, and I'd really want to one of these days, of how much money GTA Online made compared to just GTA 5.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. GTA Online makes millions of dollars every day, pretty much.
Like if I think the last number I saw is like GTA Online alone made close to $3 billion itself.
Uh, they generate estimate 500 million in annual revenue, equate to 1.3 million dollars single day.
Yeah, that's just so much money.
So yeah, I mean they're definitely banking on GTA Online for GTA 6.
Like that's where all the money's going to go in because like they'll actually treat it like a live service should be treated. Like GTA Online, even nowadays, like they still treat it pretty well. Like there's a reason why people spend money on the game. There's a reason why people keep coming back. Like GTA Rockstar somehow found like the perfect formula for microtransactions and content updates. I don't know how they figured it out, but they did. And
They're
like I think
literally
that's where,
charging you in-game credit card.
yeah, for in-game currency that you could make over the course of a couple of days. But why would you do that when you can purchase it in 2 minutes?
I fucking hate this kind of microtransactions and online service games.
It's just speaking of online services, we can go We can go on to the next topic, next part of this actually. Are we really looking at gaming being a rentable service? Like
No,
we kind of are already,
kind of
but
are,
like
but it's
uh,
fucking terrible.
like is internet and people's systems, our game system, everything, is everything going to be good enough to the point where we actually are going to realistically have to pay a monthly fee to stream video games instead of paying for them individually?
Personally, no. It will never be good enough to justify monthly subscription for you to not own anything. Like even looking at Game Pass, like you can't tell me Game Pass is actually a good fucking deal. Especially when you're not owning anything, when you actually have to constantly pay, and they keep changing pricing on it, like, and then keep excluding some of the titles. They're gonna continue to pull some bullshit like that down the road and make it not worth it.
To me, Game Pass is worth it for the sense of not necessarily modern day, like today's games. Like they just removed Call of Duty from day one Game Pass, whatever it was called, which is fine. But like Game Pass is perfect for when you want to play your old 360, your old Xbox One games, which there wasn't a lot of good Xbox One games, if we're being honest. But like, it's for those old school games. It's the same thing as like when you pay for PlayStation Premium. The only reason you're doing it isn't for actually playing online. You're doing it because you want to play your PlayStation 2 games that you grew up playing or your PS1 games. Like that's where it's worth it. But I do see where you're coming from too. Of like they are constantly taking things off of it that makes it less worth it every time you try to pay for it. It to me, it's like if what if like Nintendo's online service to me is the best version of all of this because of the fact that they seemingly are not taking games away from any of their emulators that they have right now. They're just adding to it almost
But
all
they
the
just take
time.
forever. They just take forever to add any games to it. And people complain about the emulation, like quality. Other than that, yeah, they haven't taken anything off.
It's
But
like at the
yeah,
end
it
of the day,
just yeah, it's
it
just
like
not worth
it
it.
just Nintendo's to me is the most worth it out of all of them. I like Xboxes because I did grow up with the 360 era. PlayStations I don't think is too bad because I like a lot of old school PS2 games.
But what you're
But
saying
I do
is
agree with you. It's like they're all to me they're all good in their own way, but they're also not worth it because of the streaming capabilities and the fact that like I have to pay a monthly fee to essentially rent the rights to play a game that I could just go down to my local retro shop and probably find the game there
I,
for a comparable price to that one-time monthly fee.
and like you just said, that you're not actually looking at any of the new games. You're just kind of looking at more of the old games you want to try out. Well, I hate to say it, but piracy and emulation exist. So there's even less reason to, pay how much ever they're asking you for a subscription service.
It's like emulation's not going away anytime soon, and the rules surrounding emulation are always so it's kind of like wishy-washy. In some ways it's illegal, in some ways it isn't. It really just depends on how you obtain it, I guess. I don't know.
Emulation software itself is not illegal. It's legal to have an emulation software. It's just the ROMs are illegal to share. It's just a lot of times when I hear this argument where it's talking about, oh, I'm using emulation to preserve the games. Cool. Are you playing some obscure NES game on your, emulation, or are you just getting emulation to play the latest Legend of Zelda game? Like a lot of times, anytime people, because that's one of the most disingenuous, argument I have heard. Is like, if you just want to say pirate a game, then just go ahead and say you pirate the game. Don't use, preserving a game as an excuse for emulation, because nobody's out there playing, like a samurai ninja cat pizza delivery on your emulation system.
Is that a real game?
It is an actual real game.
I had a feeling. Sounds like one of those, I'd say a weird Japanese exclusive game that somehow made it to the US.
Yeah. I just, yeah, I mean, emulation will always be there, and as the hardware powers go up, it will be easier and easier to do emulation. So if your argument is gonna be, oh, I only play old games, well, then you don't have to spend $15 to $20 on Xbox Game Pass to play old games when you can just emulate those. I hate saying it because like Nintendo is absolutely against emulation for whatever fucking reason,
Because it takes money out of their pockets.
even though they don't sell those games anymore. But yeah, I mean, it just, if you're gonna say emulation, at least fucking be honest about the reason why you're, for emulation. That's what I'm saying. And I just don't think this subscription service is just like Netflix is not worth fucking $18 a month anymore, or Hulu is, whatever they're charging you anymore, because you have so many different tiers of a subscription now. Hey, do you want the basic that comes with ad? It's like, what's the point of, me getting a subscription service if I still have to watch an ad?
That's a whole nother conversation, to be honest. And like my biggest issues with all of them is how like Netflix and Hulu, HBO, Paramount, they're not streaming services for everything that you want anymore. They're streaming services for their own like in-house content. And it's never as good as what we used to have when you can just turn on the TV and have every channel that you wanted. Like, I'm sorry, man, not every fucking Netflix show is a hit.
Not every show is the Squid Games, not every show is the K-pop Demon Hunters. Like, out of hundreds of fucking shows they made, what is the actual percentage of a good shows that people watch?
I'm sure there's 100 on there that are terrible and they just never push them to actually like do anything. There's also probably hundreds of them that went one season and was never renewed. But that's across all the streaming platforms. I think there's shows I want to watch and stuff, but I hate the fact that I have to specifically get Hulu to watch. Like one of my favorite shows is called The Rookie. And then I hate that if I want to go watch something on Netflix, I have to specifically get that Netflix thing to watch this one show like Stranger Things. Like all of their in-house studio stuff just like it's overshadowing what we used to have with streaming services in my opinion, and like they're just becoming less and less worth it because we're only getting in-house studio production stuff
Uh,
rather than what they used to be.
it has become new cable TV. That's it. For more expensive, subscription service. It's literally that.
Okay, moving on to the next topic because I don't have a good segue here. Let's go ahead and wrap up this stuff with just a little bit more GTA content, to be honest. And this isn't just specifically about GTA because I know, if I remember, you might have had a few examples in mind for this, but deluxe editions of games are locking out base content, like GTA specifically. There are shops within the game that you are not going to be allowed to go to unless you purchase the deluxe edition.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for quite a while now. I don't know if people remember Dragon Age Origin had the same thing. Uh, they had some of the characters locked behind uh, DLC. So if you didn't buy the deluxe edition, you had to buy this character separately on DLC later, which is bullshit because apparently some of this. It's not just, by the way, Dragon Age Origin is not the only game BioWare done this shit with. They did the same shit with the Mass Effect 3. So yeah, I absolutely hate it when companies quote unquote put out a like a deluxe edition with extra content, and those extra contents are actually pivotal for the main game. They shouldn't be.
The Mass Effect 3 reference for everybody sitting at home was there's a character named Javik. Not to go into spoilers, but he is
A fucking
quite.
protein.
Stop. No spoilers on this one. Just in case anybody hasn't played a nearly 20-year-old
If you
game
haven't
now.
played the fucking game by now, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, just without spoilers, I'm just going to go ahead and say he's quite possibly the most important character when it comes to the overall world of Mass Effect.
And
And
locked behind fucking DLC.
he was originally actually planned to be shipped with the game, but because of developing crunch times, they didn't have enough time to actually finish it, so they just announced it as a deluxe edition to be released when completed. I'm trying to think of other companies that do this. I know Capcom got in a lot of shit because they hid deluxe edition and DLC characters in their games to later be purchased. Like they were
Oh
already
yeah,
available and done.
absolutely. They have done this shit with uh
I can't
not
think of the name
necessarily.
of the fighting game, but I know it was a fighting game that like there was 4 or 5 characters that they released as DLC, and then when people actually
Oh,
looked into the code,
Street
it turns
Fighter
out
Cross Tekken.
yes.
They had actual datas for the next DLC characters already in it. The DLC was just the key to unlock this. They were not actual additional fucking datas.
Yeah, like the entire game was already completed.
Why are you doing this shit?
Luckily, they haven't been caught doing it again. They probably learned their lesson, if I'm being honest. Which also
No,
means they probably have stuff like this already done, but they don't put it in the disc now.
they just don't include it in the game anymore. They just have it separated out. So fucking annoying when they do shit like that. I hate it when games come with like a pre-order bonuses, stages or deluxe edition stages. Like Assassin's Creed did the same shit. Hey, if you pre-order now, you get this Ezio outfit and a one extra, like dungeon that you can explore. Fucking dumb. Like, what the fuck am I paying for? If I'm already paying for a full game, I should be getting full access to the game.
Is it Hitman World of Assassination had their deluxe edition that had premium content, some additional contracts, and campaigns from across the trilogy. That was all locked behind a paywall. It was all content that was already completed and done with. I understand, like, it's supposed to technically be bonus content, but if it's already on the disc or it's already part of the game, why are you locking it behind a paywall?
Right.
Like, at least, like, in my opinion, this I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one, but at the very least, lie to us and say it's DLC in 2 months. just just don't include it as a deluxe thing when it's already part of the game. Like I couldn't imagine turning on that game and seeing that additional slide screen for like additional missions, and then when you go to click on it, it says need to purchase the deluxe edition or deluxe upgrade. Call of Duty does that actually with their Vault edition of their season passes. You can either buy the season pass or you can buy the Vault edition, which is almost like another. I think it's $40, and all
Fuck
you get is
that.
cosmetics.
That's another fucking thing. Anytime I see, fucking deluxe edition and with the extra contents and it's all just nothing but cosmetics, then why the fuck am I paying $20 to $30 more? It ain't worth that much.
What was it recently? Arc Raiders had that. That yeah, that one was just deluxe edition for cosmetics that don't do anything to your game whatsoever, but you get an additional $20 to spend. Dragon Age has done that. Borderlands 4 did that.
Yeah. Oh, since we're talking about actual important content locked behind DLC, Asura's Wrath true ending was locked behind DLC. Think about that.
I don't know what that game is.
It was another, if you know DMs, Devil May Cry. It's that kind of
Oh,
action,
okay.
yeah, speedy character action game. They locked the true ending to a game behind $10 DLC.
That's just insane, man. That's all I gotta say about it. Is like I can't believe. And I say I can't believe it, but like it is completely believable when you think about the greed of some of these companies, specifically like Ubisoft always comes to mind because they always have something shady about every single game that comes out. About like how about the fact that like every single Ubisoft game is just Far Cry with a different skin. Um, and
So
their
what the
deluxe
fuck do
editions
I
again were just fucking cosmetic
cosmetics?
weapons. Maybe you got to camouflage something. I know Far Cry for a while it was like you can get this special edition weapon that's actually just as good as every other gun in the game, but it looks different.
I mean, speaking of which, Dragon Age, 2, yeah, not Dragon Age, Mass Effect 2 did the same thing. You got some armors and guns.
Yeah, you got the Dragon Age armor in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
They had another armor set, and I can't remember what it was, but it was another like deluxe edition. You got this, and like it wasn't really cool looking armor, and to be honest, it kind of just doesn't look like Mass Effect.
No, not
Like
at
it
all.
looks really weird.
Oh, fucking Dead Space. They gave you currency for deluxe edition for
That's
Dead
right.
Space 3.
Currency. They gave you additional like gun attachments, and I forgot what they were called. It's been so long since I played it. Oh no, you
The
also
little,
got you got
no,
you got the Dead Space 2 suit for the deluxe edition.
yeah,
Okay, before we wrap this up here,
fucking dumb shit. Like none of this should be, so popular. None of this practices should be, like so mainstream in gaming. But no, the fucking horse armor all the way to now, contents locked behind deluxe edition. We have come such a long way. It's a slippery slope. Everybody who talks shit, they call people paranoid and retarded for calling out horse armor being dumb. You all deserve to go fuck yourselves. You guys owe us, fucking apologies.
speaking of like industry standards, this is going to be specifically for like us. I can't stand these pre-release versions of games anymore. Like I remember I purchased 7 Days to Die well before we ever played it together, well before any of our groups have ever played it together. Like I've had it for years, and I bought it when it was in pre-alpha, and they were still testing it and still trying it. I can't stand that. Like they ran out of funding, so they need people to purchase the game to actually like continue funding and building up the
Yeah.
game, and then it just takes years upon years for the game to finally be finished. And then
I
once you get the
agree.
finished product, it's like slightly better than what you originally had.
I totally agree. Early access has been very sour on my, taste bud as well. Anytime I see early access, I'm like, that's like a 50% of the interest gone. I'll push you on a wish list, but don't make me pay full price for your early access game. Like, let me know when it's in like actual production, when it's on actual release. Like I fucking hate this shit so much.
All right. You got anything else you want to add to this conversation before we wrap
Uh,
up?
there's so many, but if we start naming everything up, we're gonna be here forever.
All right, guys, and that's going to do it for this week's episode of Talking Bitch. And if you haven't yet, make sure you head over to your local eBay and purchase your pre-order of GTA 7 while supplies last. Drake, what do you think about people purchasing GTA 6 digital passes
It's
on
fucking
eBay?
digital code. It's not running out, you fucking retards. The reason why the fuck are you even pre-ordering digital fucking game? They can just print out more fucking codes. How the fuck are you going to